Welcome to day 5 on the Ukulele app. We're vibe coding an app from scratch. I'm Jackie Bavaro. I'm a product manager. And last time we did this, we got our app to a working condition. Since then, all I've done is actually just play with the app, and I've been putting together a list of bugs and improvements that I want to be making. Let me go ahead and paste them here. All right. First thing I want to fix is I want to add a metronome sound. I want it to kind of do that boom, 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 so that I can hear in the background what I'm supposed to play. Next is I was playing this on mobile, and you couldn't see everything on the same page at once. So I wanted to try giving it a screenshot, fixing a lot of the cropping issues, making the UI smaller so it'll fit on one line, moving things around so that way I can look at this on mobile and it'll work out. I wanted to look into whether or not we can make the phone not go dark on mobile when I'm not pressing a button. One of the notes I put in here is I'm imagining that I'm going to put this in, queue them up one at a time as fixes. This one felt a little bit more complicated, updating the top bar, the top navigation bar. So I wanted to do that one later on. As I start to play, if I'm not touching the screen on mobile, it goes dark. So I wanted to see if there's a solution for that. When you're playing, if you hit the right note and then the wrong note, it goes green and then red. I want to fix that so it stays green. And on the home page, I wanted to show the chord charts inside those toggles. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do, new day, let's do a new chat. I probably should be starting a new chat every time I do a new feature. So let's go into this list of things I want to change. And let's maybe go from like easy to hard. First thing I want to do is make this homepage show the chord charts. So over here we say A minor, C, but I can't see like which fingers those are. And so I might not remember which is E and which is E major. I want to make sure this is also going to work on mobile. I've sent it number 1. While it's going, let's see what the second thing we want to send is. Try this one. After the note's played, don't switch color, even if an incorrect note is played. Actually, let's go as long as we're doing design, let's go design for the main page on mobile. So actually a good way to do this if we want to send it a screenshot is I'm going to open this in a new tab. Go ahead and close the previous version. And now you can actually over here make it so that Chrome will make things an iPhone size. Interesting. It's making some pretty tiny chord charts. We'll want those to be bigger. We'll see if it fixes it on its own. You can see over here now my mouse is like a finger. Screenshot of that. All right, so the first thing we'll do here is let's ask it to make those chord charts bigger. Now I'm going to add in that screenshot I took on mobile for the practice page and talk about making this better. So I think the easiest thing is going to be changing the order of things to put the timeline at the top and then the correction bar instead of the current order, which puts the current chord chart and the microphone inactive. Interestingly here, it thinks that it made the chord charts bigger, but it did not. So I'm going to need to send it a picture of that to cue that one up. All right, I'm going to take a new screenshot, I think, once it's updating this UI. Great, we've got our timeline at the top. Interestingly, I can see that it's unable to fix its problem with this chord chart. Assuming that doesn't get fixed here, this might be something where I would want to try some of this dynamic intelligence. Actually, I'm just going to turn both of these off and ask it more specifically to look really closely at the HTML it's generating. Give it an attempt. You can also go over and see how great, this has gone onto one line. That's excellent. All right, so we have actually made this part on one line. We still haven't fixed the homepage chord charts. I am going to have to fix the size and cropping. It's showing. It's kind of funny here that there's some things that just end up being so easy, and this idea of like, what's going wrong here? Why is this the wrong size? Is particularly hard to fix. So here's where I'm going to use a little bit of my own technical skills and try to figure out what's going on. Got our button. Let's expand it out. Yeah, as we hover over things, it's going to show you what we have. So this is the div that has, oops, it's refreshing because it's going live while we're going. All right, so we're going to be over here looking at this div that holds it. And I'm just basically going to be looking to see what could possibly be setting its size. Side width auto 16 by 16 has not fixed it. So I hover, I see it says 16 by 16. So something here is making this 16 by 16. All right, I'm going to take a picture of this and see if that can give it any chance to help. And here we can see that it did not have any extra luck with this being cut off. Well, it has done something. So one of the things I've mentioned is that when we're using AI agents, part of the reason that I'm going through this whole process is to get a sense for what do they do well, what do they not do well. And in the future, I imagine that we'll have AI In the future, I imagine we'll have AI agents that can act as great designers. And I can say, take a look at this design, let me know if anything doesn't look good, and then fix it. Something changed, but it is still not working. Now, can I see my past image? It has yet again been incorrect. All right, let's give it a chance with some more dynamic intelligence. I'm going to go try to throw Claude Opus at this. I'm actually going to even give it a brand new chat window. Okay, so I'm now asking it, I started a new window, giving it the better model, more thinking, told it that a few attempts haven't worked, told it sort of where the problem exactly is in case it can't see it. And I'm asking it to really look at the code, see if it can understand where the problem is, and to feel free to rewrite this if this is too complicated, if that's the root cause of what's going on. And I'm pretty curious to see what it ends up saying and if it ends up finding that the problem was overcomplicated code. So it took a screenshot, but wasn't able to tell that the screenshot still has this problem. $1.17 for that, to kind of be back where we started, but we'll give it another chance. I have to say, I didn't expect this to take quite so long to get this chord chart to the right size on these pages. All right, I'm going to stop paying for this extra, for the extra expensive model, since it didn't seem to be helping. I'm going to leave the better thinking on because I do really want it to think holistically here. I'm really eager to add the metronome working, so hopefully we can get through this part quickly and then I can get to doing the metronome. I think it worked. Thank goodness. All right, I'm going to count that as a win for now. And let me move the start to the top bar. This is great. I'm going to start a new chat. So we're hoping to replace these two with the start button down here. And oh my, that's become giant. Great. I meant to talk about billing. It's nice I get a pop-up. I've used up my all my credits for the month. And now I will be charged for each extra. I'll be charged directly. Oh, I have a usage alert set at $50. If any of you guys want to sign up with my referral link and get me some extra credit, go for it. But otherwise, it's amazing how far I get without using the Opus model and how quickly the Opus model is using up the money. The normal one is just 16 cents instead of $1. All right, let's take a look. Start. Great. Pause. Let's make sure it still works on mobile. Almost, but the plus and minus are getting pushed off. I'm going to take off that extended thinking, or I'll need it back in a second. There's some more visual changes, but I did want to add the metronome in. So let's do new agent window. And again, this is one of the places where it feels sort of like rolling the dice. Is this going to be super easy and it gets it right the first time? I think it might, because I've done some other vibe coding where it has a timer and it has that metronome going nicely, but there's a chance that it's as tricky as getting the sizing on the SVGs correct, that it's looking into the rest of the timing engine. Interesting. The app has two practice modes, one with a full timing engine not used currently and a simpler practice mode. This is giving me some also interesting information just about if I do want to go through and have it do a refactoring to figure out why this timing engine isn't being used and how measures and beats are being used. It's added a metronome toggle to the UI. That's not really what I wanted. Oh, just the sound. That's actually not so terrible, as long as it all still fits. Almost. Well, I heard the first beep and then no others. I'm going to encourage it to add some logging here because I think that'll be an important step. What's happening? I'm going to think about the spacing. I think there's just too much space between the minuses and the plus over here. It says here. Added logging, we'll take a look and then share what happens. Switch over to the console here. Seems to be doing something even when, all right, I'm going to right click, copy console. This tempo spacing also did not really seem to work. We're back to it. So I'm definitely noticing that for some of this front end stuff, it's really tricky. Okay, let's give it a restart. Really interesting. I think that they are not evenly, oh, maybe it's because of the restarting. Let me try that one more time. All right. So what we're seeing here is that there's something, I think that the timing's actually working, but I think that this beats and measures isn't quite working out. So pretty happy with the metronome itself. We're going to start a new one. I'm going to hold down Shift and hit Enter so I get a new line. All right. Let's see if it can take a look at what it's written and figure out how to get this working again. I'm actually going to pause it for a second. Can I add a message? I'm not sure if this will work or not, but the UI for the timeline, right? It's going with this measured progress. I don't know if it's going to have cut off the first one or not. See, as it starts to think if it's going to Okay, it's back at planning the timing system refactoring. That's good. Well, I can create a task list. It's kind of nice. So I don't know for sure how much extended thinking is causing it to do a better job than if it didn't use this, but it certainly is a little bit reassuring to see more of the thought process and to see it thinking before it starts to build things. This try to figure out why it's getting, oops, got refreshed right there. So we can see here the height is 105.6 pixels. And this is 112, but you can see this green box, it's cutting off the top there. So something about this div seems to be the problem. Oops. See if sending a screenshot of this can help it do its debugging. I might also try some of its inline debugging. All right, it's done a bunch of work. 3 minutes of work, only 64 cents because we didn't use the more expensive model. Let's back just to the console. Seems like it's working really well now. Great. Well, there's still a few things I want to fix. I'm gonna ask it to get rid of the percent line that says percent through the measure. We've added our metronome. We fixed the page order. We've not fixed the timeline and cropping yet. Let's see about going dark on mobile when not pressed. Great. All right, I'm asking it about the screen going dark. I'm asking it specifically, is this possible or not possible? Because I do hope that it will just tell me it's not possible if it's not, and not try silly approaches that won't work. So this is a mobile feature. So to be able to, oh my goodness, it's going a little bit more than I asked it to do. Hopefully this indicator is not, hopefully it's a good indicator, not a bad one. So the only way to test this is going to be on mobile. So you hit that little link button. You can see it gave me a URL. This is a dev URL. So this is going to stop working once I've stopped. This is going to stop working once I've stopped using Replit for today. You can see it's loaded it on my phone. It's going. I'm going to just leave it there for a little bit and see if the screen goes dark. While it's going, I'll look at the next thing on our list. After a note is played correctly, don't switch colors even if an incorrect note is played. New agent window. Taking a look at the mobile app, it looks like the screen is still working. So I think that screen lock worked. I am noticing that the width at the top is still too wide. So I'm going to just have it remove the word start and pause and have it just be the icon. That seems like a small enough change that I'm going to queue that one up. So we've got it so the screen doesn't go dark. If this works, then we've got this one almost done. And then we just need to figure out this cropping issue. All right, I haven't even refreshed, and you can see that the play button has been switched. I'm going to go ahead and practice. Well, I'll practice this on here so that we can all still see it. Move this back to normal size. It is turning red right away, though. Okay, let's go. I could go ahead and try to get that just perfect with the purple, but because of timing, I'm just getting like a little tired for today. So I'm going to try to just finish up the things we meant to do. And then I'll show you about the usage and how to look at your stats and then how to redeploy. So earlier I took that screenshot. Actually, there's a visual editor here. Let me see what this does. Can I click there? Amazing. I wonder if I can just fix this myself. The up and down padding is 8. What happens if I increase that? Well, might have just fixed it myself. Great. So you can see that was this edit button down here. I don't think I needed to type anything in. Clicked visual editor, hovered around, and then I could click on the div that was causing the problems and fix it up myself. All right. So we fixed all of these bugs and feedback that I had from the app. So it should be a lot more functional for me to use it to actually practice my ukulele playing. And then the last thing I wanted to show you today is about the two things. I wanted to show you the analytics and I wanted to show you the usage reports. So if we go over to deployments, the first thing we should do is we should redeploy because all those changes I've made, you can see over here, I made them on the dev server. So if you go to the actual public app, put that in a new tab, ukulele chord practice, Jackie Bow. Oops. So this one you can see is still the old version of the app, right? This is what's out there for public. And that's really nice because as I was trying this out and breaking things and trying again, people that were actually using the app wouldn't have seen these changes. But I do want those to actually go to them now. If this were a real app that you really depended on, you should do some more testing, try it all out, make sure it really is working well. Do this mostly for fun, so we're going to go ahead and deploy that. And now I can show you we have things like analytics. So when I first got the app into a semi-working condition, I tweeted about it. And you can see over here on the analytics page that we've had 37 unique IP addresses visit the site. You can see what days and how many. Come over down here, see what's being loaded, what devices. We've got people from Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Twitter for iPhone, Opera. You can also see my top refers. You can see it's coming from Twitter. So you get this nice view. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was usage. So I go back to my homepage, over to the usage tab. This will show you how much money you're spending and also let you set those usage alerts. Monthly credits, I'm paying $25 a month and I get $25 worth of credits. You saw when it popped up. Since then, we spent another $3.57. And I'll have an alert happen if I hit 50 and it won't let me go past $100. So what did I spend all that money on? Really nice. It'll tell me. Agent usage, you can see, if you'll remember, we did this as 2 passes. The first pass we did was this automatically called Ukulele Coach. So that first pass of trying it out, spent about $11 on. And since then, this deployment version of it, we spent $14 on. So that's the $26 of AI usage. And you can come on down here and also see deployment costs and see how much I've been spending on having this actually hosted. And so I could actually open this up, see the other apps that I've built. I looked at this earlier today and actually shut down Kindness Catcher because that was just the very first demo vibe coded app that I deployed to see how it would work. And there you go. Great. So this version has now deployed. And if we come over here to ukulele-chord-practice-jackiebo.replit.app, I could have chosen a better name. I think they also have a nice way to buy domain names, but we'll go ahead and refresh. And you can see here is our updated version of the app. If you'd like to go ahead and play with it, let me know. Let me know if you have feedback, things you'd like to see. Let me know if you have any questions about how to use Replit or different Replit functionalities or any of the debugging that I've done. And if not, I'd love to see all of you try out your own apps, make them, come up with something that you could be useful for you yourselves, and then show it to me. I'd love to see you share it. I think this is a great thing for all product managers and engineers and designers to try out for themselves.